So, just saw this YouTube clip where they caught, I think, like 6 or 7 child predators on social media today, which is like, I think today's like 3/24/26. And so, yes, it's a great, well, yes, it is great news that uh that police agencies um had or has captured these these pedophiles, basically, right? uh However, like, that's just the like top of the line, right? Well, how did they meet these people in the first place, right? How? Social media. So what does that say about these platforms, these social media platforms? What does it say about it? It describes that these platforms are not safe. Maybe safe in a specific way, or just safe to a certain extent. However, they are not safe. So either they should shut down these platforms, right? Just shut down social media and in general. No more social media. Because social media is so outrageous, right? Even to the point where it has criminalized, if not contaminated, your local news stations. Um, so why, like, why feed the population something that is detrimental, right? Social media, that's television, right? Television is another form of social media. And then you got like people who are going to try to be like smart Alex and try to be like, well, that's not social media. TV's not social media. That's television. That's why it's called something up. No. Anything, identify what social media means. Social means to be around things. Social means to socialize, right? To social, society, right? These are all like little branches of social. So social means to kind of engage with other people, amongst yourself, amongst each other, amongst themselves, right? So that's what social means, right? To socialize means that I'm going to interact with either one person, 10 people, a million people, however it may be, right? Half of a person, I'm socializing, right? And then so society means that everybody that's among where everyone's at, right? That's society. And you can go down to ecosystems like, oh, well, United States, that's a society. Okay, well, then there's states inside of that United States. And okay, well, inside that state there's a capital. Okay, well, inside that capital there's like a district. Okay, inside that district there's like a block. Okay, what's inside that block? There's like residencies. Okay, inside that residency there's different people that live in there, right? So you can get all technical, whatever you want to try to to disintegrate, pick apart, deteriorate, anything that I'm trying to say. Basically, what I'm trying to describe here is that these platforms, social media, social television, is deteriorating us, is causing us to follow them, right? And look what it causes. It causes these people to be freaking pedophiles, right? Causes these people to commit mass murder, right? Causes these people to steal and do whatever it takes to kind of get ahead or behind or just even with society. So think about it. We're watching media. We see someone that we maybe idolize or just look up to or just like find interesting, and we're like, oh, that person has this kind of car, purse, clothes, makeup, anything that materialistic, right? Any materialistic item. So that makes us either like want to buy it. And so if we don't have the money to buy it, then what are we gonna do? We're gonna try to commit some kind of crime for it, right? So back to my story about the social media is that yeah, these people utilize these different social media to become child predators. Well, okay. Well, why not fine these platforms for every single predator they catch on their on someone's platform? Jesus, dude, my apartment is trying to prevent me from talking. They're just jealous, bro. And so, anyways, why not? I'm gonna have to like move away from my TV. That way, I can possibly get away from whatever's causing me to choke. So why not find these platforms? $100 million. Hell yeah, for each predator, right? And I guarantee you, if you're charging these platforms $100 million per incident, whether that's child, some type of child predator or some form of like some form of someone being a child predator, child abuse, such as like bullying, right? Or just like false information being spread on these platforms. And if you were to fine them $100 million per incident, I bet you they would clean that thing up quick. I can almost guarantee you that these people who are running these platforms will think twice about allowing these kind of people, individuals, on their platform, right? But the thing is, it's like they want that stuff, bro. Like honestly, it's like it kind of feels to me. It kind of feels as if these platforms allow individuals to conduct their heinous acts, and it's disturbing, right? And not only that, it's like to kind of like venture off on a whole different journey, right? Is like businesses, right? Well, I wouldn't say a whole new journey. It's kind of like stemming, maybe it's kind of stemming from it's kind of stemming what I'm talking about, but at a different like branch location, right? So basically, what I'm trying to describe is like businesses and how they kind of like secure themselves by hiring individuals who they either one that they know or two that are easy to persuade into kind of falling into what they're doing, right? But because like, dude, I say this because like I go, I I wouldn't say I go, but I catch the bus, and it just seems like 9 out of 10 buses that I catch, either one, it's always late, or they're like, oh, we broke down, right? Two, I like 9 out of 10 times I smell something funny on the bus, and so what these two smells are it's either propane because it's like sugary. I can smell like sugar, right? Right, and so I think either they're mixing the sugar with some type of propane to kind of like disguise the smell, the egg smell, right? Or they're mixing sugar with gas and kind of hiding that smell. But I think it's more propane because gasoline it would be a lot more expensive, right? To kind of like how would you carry that on you, right? And transform that into an aerosol. And propane is already kind of an aerosol, right? And so that's what I think what it is. It's propane, and sometimes I think it's anti-coolant. But anyways, not only that, right? Like I'm thinking like what they should do is create a whole new transportation system that is dedicated to like to police, right? To a special, it's like a maybe not you would say police, right? But a special agency where this agency has like a Neuralink kind of installed into them, or not kind of, but installed into them to identify that they're honest. Okay, so then once you do that, you you start a whole new transportation system. Put cutting edge technology on there, such as facial recognition, and I could almost guarantee you, you will find, we will find a whole new level of arrest, right? You put them inside the transportation system. You put them on the outside of our transportation system, and so now, as the person is driving this transportation uh, vehicle, whatever it may be, right? They're driving down, so they're capturing license plates, reading license plates that are expired, looking at individuals who have high beams on, right? Who potentially have a tail light out, not using their signal, whatever it may be, right? These are violations, right? And I can almost guarantee you, you will stop a lot of things by just doing something like that. Because a lot of these people, right? I would say about like, I don't know, 60% of these people who are on the run probably catch some type of transportation. Maybe fewer than that. It could be like 30%, right? But that's still a 30% chance of capturing someone. Even if it's like a 1% chance, that's still a 1%. That's still if you were to increase that, so for every 1,000 people, that would be 10 people. That's pretty good. For every million people, that's what, like, I don't know, 1,000 maybe, or 100. It's like what, maybe even more than that. 1% of a million is probably like 1,000. I'm assuming, because one was 100. Okay, so 10 is 1,000. 1,000 is 100,000. No, 1,000 is not 100,000. 1,000 is a, so you got one for 100. So then that's 10 for 1,000. That's 100 for 100,000. And that's 1,000 for a million. That's pretty good. 1,000 people for a million people, right? And that's just saying at 1%. That's just like one for every 100 people, right? And so, um, like, dude, like, I don't know. I have no idea why these platforms is not only child protected, but also regulated for its content.